everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Nicole and this is Letting It Be So, my little corner of the interwebs where I chat to you about all things sewing and creative. So yeah, I am here with another Friday Sews catch up of all of the sewing and creativeness that's been happening over the past week to share with you. We'll start off with what I'm wearing today, and I'm wearing another sweatshirt today because it is, yeah, looking pretty grey and overcast. I think it might be not quite raining, but maybe late drizzling. Yeah, the weather is certainly on the downturn at the moment here in London. But yeah, I am wearing a Megan Nielsen Jarrah sweatshirt, which last week I was wearing a Linden sweatshirt, and I would say that and the Jarrah are my two favourite and most made sweatshirt patterns. So this is just the straight hem version. There's a couple of different options that pattern has for like the different hems. There's a tie front option which I've made, and I think there's maybe like a more curved option as well. But yeah, this is just what I would call the standard one. It's got the drop shoulder here that you can see just about in the print I've got on, and the fabric that I made it was a remnant piece of French terry that I got from Lamazi. This is one of theirs that I think they either designed themselves or commissioned to have design and have printed themselves as their own kind of line. So it's this, like, it's sort of a purpley blue background, and then with these like pink and green splotches all over it. Really lovely and vibrant, and just I had enough to do because it was a remnant piece. I had enough to do the cuffs and the hemband in the main fabric, and so all I needed extra wise was I just got some navy plain ribbing for the neckband. But yeah, I really like this. It feels like, you know, it's always nice to wear something that's a little bit warmer but still, yeah, really happy and vibrant on the colour front. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. In terms of sewing, so the main project that has been on, well, I say main project, the only project that's been on the go in the past week since I last caught up with you is my Ilford jacket. So this was something that I had said in my autumn winter plans video that I wanted to make, and I already had the fabric for it. So I went ahead and cut it out after I filmed last week's Friday Sews, and then got cracking at the weekend. So the fabric I had is this like corduroy fabric that has like a faux fur like backing, which, you know, on paper sounds great. You know, you've got the corduroy, you've got a nice fluffy like inside for a jacket, like that sounds awesome. And then you cut it out and you know, there aren't a huge amount of pattern pieces because it's like a workwear kind of boxy jacket. You know, there's not a huge number of pieces, so it's not an epic amount of cutting out. But when I tell you that the floor in this living room looked like someone had set loose a herd of puppies in a teddy bear shop, with the amount of fluff and bits everywhere. Like, I have hoovered so many times over the past week, and there's still a big pile of fluff down in one corner there where some of my scraps were hanging out because I wasn't sure if I was going to need them. And yes, I will probably have to hoover at least 3 more times before this is finished, because yeah, there is just fluff everywhere. So I'll pick up the jacket to show you where I'm at, because I'm not quite finished, but it's definitely not going to take too much more sewing. I opted to go for this, so there's kind of 2 sleeve options. There's either one with a placket or just like what they call like a boxy sleeve, so just a straight sleeve basically. And because my fabric is quite thick, where it's got the corduroy and then the fur backing, I chose to do the boxy version because I just didn't want to, I didn't feel like messing around with trying to do a placket with fabric that's quite thick. I feel like if you're doing it in like a denim or, you know, a like cotton drill or something like that, it's probably a lot easier, but I didn't want to set myself up for that kind of challenge slash chaos. So yeah, so I've chosen to do the boxy sleeve. So I have got everything together. So so you can see there again, drop sleeve like this. So I've got just a plain straight sleeve, which is not hemmed currently. Got my, I think it looks really cool. You've got like the fur next to the corduroy on the inside where I've done the placket. I have bound with bias binding all of the inner seams, which I hadn't envisaged that I was going to do when I started this project. But Friday Pattern Company, who are the pattern company who designed the Ilford Jacket, they have several sew along videos for this pattern to help you out, and in the one that's like the main one for making the jacket, they were showing you bias binding all of the seams, and given what I have just said about what we can call fluff geddon maybe, or like fluff, yeah, the general fluff chaos situation, I didn't really trust that just overlocking things, because obviously this is not lined because it's got the, well, the pattern doesn't come with a lining. I'm sure you could probably draft one if you wanted, but the pattern doesn't come with a lining, and also I didn't want to line it because I've got, you know, this nice furry on the back. But yeah, I did not trust that just overlocking the seams would be enough to stop bits of fluff still coming off of the seams when they were sewn. So yeah, it's actually in two different colours. So I had enough of this cream. You know, I don't typically buy a lot of bias binding, so I had to go like diving in my drawers in my sewing desk. But yeah, so I've got cream for the shoulder seams and the side seams, and then yeah, and then the sleeves have got this like purple, which is not too dissimilar, just a little bit darker to the actual purple of the corduroy. But I figured, because obviously, you know, the you're gonna, if you hang this up, you will see like the side seams, but you won't see the inside of the sleeve. So I think that, you know, it was just a case of, I want to get this sewn up. I don't want this thing that's like shedding fluff to be sitting around any longer than it has to, shedding bits everywhere. So I didn't mind the fact that, yeah, I've got two different colours of bias binding, but it has worked really nicely. Yeah, but it has worked really nicely. We'll definitely do this again for a jacket if it didn't have a lining. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily what I was planning, but the sew along video that the sew along video that Friday Pattern Company have done was really good. Showed you the easiest way to do that, particularly when you come to like the doing the sleeves, where you've kind of got the seams kind of joining into one another. So that was really helpful. So yeah, in terms of what's left to do, so I have attached the collar. So I've done it so that let's hold it up like this. So yeah, I've done it so that the fluff will be on the outside. I actually put some cotton on the back rather than doing two collar pieces out of the main fabric, just because I thought it might end up with the collar being really sticky outy. So I'm going to hand sew the collar inside down to cover that seam, and then all I have to do is put fastenings on it. I did buy some buttons, but again, with the fluff situation and the thickness of the fabric, because it has been, you know, in some places it has been quite a mission to get the fabric when you've got like multiple layers through the machine. I don't think I feel brave enough to do buttonholes, so I think I'm going to put snaps on it. So I've got some of those ones that are sort of like the prim, like anorak ones. So I think I'm going to do that instead of buttons. And then yeah, the only thing that I have to do after I've sorted out that collar is, yeah, hem the sleeves, and then I've got pockets to add. So the pattern is really good that it has like loads of different pocket options, and it kind of leaves it up to you like how you want to position them. You know, there's not any markings on the pattern itself, like where to position the pockets. It's just, you know, however you feel. So I have gone for like 2 different types of pockets. So I've got, this is going to look weird, so I've got a sort of an angled pocket, which looks a bit weird because I've got pins in it, because this fabric, as you might imagine, is not really in for ironing. I tested it out, and yeah, the faux fur stuff definitely doesn't want to be ironed on a particularly high heat. So yeah, I have just pinned this so I could top stitch the top of the pocket, so you can see it's top stitched there, and then it's just pinned the amount that needs to go under, and then I will sort it all out when it's actually pinned on the jacket. So I've got 2 of these to go, you know, on the top here, and then on the bottom got these like what they call arm warmer pockets. So they're like this shape. I need to press these edges down, but I thought it was quite cool that, because I had the faux fur backing, to fold this the other way. So it's like you fold this over twice, and obviously you're supposed to fold it to the wrong side, but I folded it the other way so that I could get the little fur trim on the pocket, which I thought was cute and would match with my collar. So yeah, it is not too far from finished. I'm sure that I will get it finished over the weekend, and yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to wear it now that, you know, the weather is definitely into jacket territory, and yeah, I look forward to showing you on next week's Friday Sews the fully finished Ilford jacket, and that will be one thing from my autumn winter sewing plans all sewn up and ready to go, and that will feel like an achievement. That's all of the sewing, because obviously, like I said, it's been a bit of a mission, and yeah, I've not wanted to let anything else get in the way of that being finished off. I still have the top that I mentioned last week, the Visby Henley top from Itch to Stitch, cut out. So if I do finish this quickly, then, and have some more sewing time over the weekend, then I can hopefully get that one sewn up as well, because it's a jersey top. The only fiddly bit is it's obviously got the Henley like placket bit to do, but other than that, it's obviously just a raglan jersey top, so the rest of the sewing of it should be pretty quick. So I'm pretty confident that that one can be done fairly quickly, and I might also have it to share with you next week. But yeah, I think next up is probably going to be, so I'm looking over there because I did a mass washing of other fabrics that I shared with you last week that I had bought for my some of my autumn and winter plans, and yeah, now everything's just like piled up, so I think probably the next thing that I will cut out will be the table v-neck sweater version out of the cream viscose sweater knit that I got from Gogh and Garni, and then I think I want to get a skirt cut out as well. So that's all of the sewing and crafty content that I have for this week. In terms of other stuff, so as I mentioned last week, I had football at the weekend, so the Women's Super League kicked off the new season, and I have a season ticket, so I went along to the Spurs Women's game in East London on Sunday, and the weather forecast was looking absolutely grim. Like, it was saying there's going to be thundery downpours, you were going to get wet, like batten down the hatches, you know, it's coming. And so I had, you know, dressed accordingly as one does. So I had, you know, I had my football shirt on, but I had a hoodie, and then I had my raincoat, and then yeah, turned out that weather forecast was not accurate, at least not for the time of day at which I was out and about. And yeah, by the time I got onto the Central Line, which if you've ever been to London, you will know that the Central Line is the hottest tube line, and I'm not entirely convinced that it's not accidentally been built right next to the Earth's core. But yeah, by the time I got onto the central line, I was absolutely melting, so I had to take off my hoodie and my raincoat. And yeah, I didn't put my hoodie back on until just after half-time at the game, when it was starting to get not chilly, but you know, it was obviously later in the day and there wasn't a lot of sun about. And yeah, got all the way home, and it was only by the time I'd been home for like a good hour or so that finally the heavens opened and we had a lot of rain. But yes, the weather forecast was not accurate, but that was good, because obviously I didn't want to get drenched. But the game was really good. We won 4-0, which was awesome, and we could have won by more. Their goalkeeper made some decent saves to keep out some good chances that we had, so it could easily have been a bigger win. But yeah, it was really good to see all our new players and how they are fitting in with our current squad, who've been there for a while. And yeah, some really good goals, and just generally the crowd vibes were really good. Really happy, really buzzing. Yeah, it was a good afternoon, and yeah, it was a fun Sunday. And yeah, it was definitely appreciated that it wasn't rained on. I'll share some pictures and stuff as well, so you can see. And yes, again, my mini making backpack came with me as my bag of choice to put all of my stuff in. Right, so over here in the workshop, we're running introducing football. What else? So on Monday this week, I went to the National Gallery, which is just by Trafalgar Square, as I had a ticket for the Van Gogh exhibition that's being held there. So it's just, I think it wasn't a huge exhibition, so there was maybe like 5 or 6 rooms in the gallery that had been devoted to Van Gogh paintings, so like obviously borrowed from various collections around the world to put them all together. And yeah, it was just really nice to see. It was a good amount of busy. I know I've been to some like paid for exhibitions where they've been really popular, and you get in there and it's very obvious that they've really oversold the tickets for the like space that things are in. But it was obviously popular, but it wasn't too busy. And yeah, just great to see some amazing paintings up close. Obviously a lot of his work is very textural, and so it always feels like a wrench that you're just like standing there looking at it, but it's kind of screaming out like, touch me, but obviously you're not allowed to do that. That will get you escorted from the premises, PDQ. But that is what I it is. That's how I feel about it. And yeah, I would consider myself as a artist to be more of a when I draw, it's like trying to accurately capture things as they are. So I appreciate seeing like art where it's like someone's interpretation, and the colours and the brush strokes. And they had also some of his drawings, which I don't think I had been particularly aware of, that were really interesting. They looked kind of like block prints that apparently he was inspired by. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, it was a good morning to spend looking at some art. And yeah, I always leave those things feeling like both inspired and also like a bit sad that my day job isn't like doing art. But maybe one day. so that was a nice trip. But yeah, it's been some good activities that have gone on since the last time I caught up with you. And in terms of what's coming up, so there's going to be on Friday I'm off to another football match, not my team, but the team that's local to me, so it will be an easy travel rather than having to get, you know, multiple tubes and trains and whatnot usually, so it'll be a far easier commute to that game. And I'm going with my brother and meeting his girlfriend for the first time. I'm going to go and have pizza beforehand, so that'll be nice. And then over the weekend, hopefully I should have at least one full day to sew. So yeah, definitely hoping to get the Ilford Jacket finished on that day. And then I'm also hoping to go to, so there's a jeweller who was on, if anyone saw the programme that was on BBC Two, which was kind of like the Sewing Bee but for jewellery makers, which was called All That Glitters. Catherine Ryan was like the presenter of it. The guy who was one of the judges, Sean Lean, is someone whose jewellery I admire, even though, you know, a significant amount of it is way out of my price range. But his company is having a sample sale over the weekend and the start of next week. So I figure I'm going to go along because it's free entry. So even if I don't, even if I'm still not rich enough to buy anything, I can at least admire it up close. But I do have, yeah. So I have next week a big birthday happening, which I definitely don't feel grown up enough for, and I think there may have been a mistake. But allegedly it's happening on Thursday next week. So you know, I'm going to the sample sale with the mindset that, you know, if I should see something that I love and that is not an unreasonable price for something that is, you know, jewelry, like precious metals, etc., like if it's worth it, then that might be my big birthday present to myself, because, you know, if you can't treat yourself on a big scary birthday, when can you? So yes, I'm looking forward to going there and seeing what they have. They haven't really said much about what they will have, but yes, I if nothing else, it will be some good window shopping. But yeah, maybe something will come home with me as my congratulations on apparently being this much of an adult, allegedly, gift for my big birthday. Okay, I think that's enough rambling on. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please do like and subscribe and all that good stuff, so that you know, this channel makes it out into the world and is seen by more people. That would be amazing. And yeah, have a good sewing week, and I will speak to you all again very soon.